have two questions. I don't think I'm gonna go in with what I think the answer to them has to be. I think we'll see. What do you call your twin flame making a YouTube video with another girl? Something pretty normal, right? It's okay. I wrote some more notes separate from the question. Actually, it almost sounds like if you wanted to like confront somebody about something, completely separate, not related, right? It kind of sounds like poetry though. Okay. Already difficult. I haven't even started. It's fine. It's completely separate. Go have another conversation with her that you've never had with me. So normal at first, right? Okay? So normal at first. So normal. Okay. Because you know that she always gets the best of you anyways. So normal. Not related to the, yeah. Not related to the question at all. Not related to the question at all. It's fine. This is totally about something that happened years ago, actually, but it's fine. I'm not going to interpret the questions. I'm just going to ask you more questions so you can think about it. What do you call your twin flame? Imagine it like it's happening to you. What do you call your twin flame? Already mentioning sex 43 seconds into a YouTube video with another girl. Oh, but the YouTube video is only 8 minutes long. So they took almost everything else out, I'm sure, from editing or whatever. It sounds like it could have been a private phone call. But it was so important to let the internet know just in case. But I'm not going to interpret it. That's for you guys. It's fine. But what would you call that? Remember what I just told you? What do you call I don't know. Whatever. You know, it's fine. It's not real. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's see. Again, I'm not gonna tell you like my answers to the questions. I'm just gonna let you think of your answers. But you can pretend that it's happening to you and see what you would do. What do you call her? Again, the girl from that imaginary YouTube video, right? Okay. Imaginary. Okay. What do you call her being the girl that he had originally left you for, even though you were not dating him? And he was not dating her, and he was not going to be dating her? Okay, wait. What do you call her being the girl he had originally left you for years before this event, being that YouTube video, right? But she doesn't count as his ex because they never dated, right? What do you call the combination of all of that, right? Oh, I don't know, but just keep your answer, you know? It gets worse. It gets worse. And I'm not even gonna put all of the reasons why it gets worse in this video. Because some of them are like my own, like, personal issues. Like, I'm not even talking about anything personal. I'm only talking about what you can interpret from actual public information that people decided to put out there of themselves. Well, you were so desperate to have that video out there, so there must have been a reason. You know, before I get to the next one, we should all have a moment of silence for how much we need to make sure that they would understand that they would probably look like crackheads if they tried to get me back for this part in some way, if they saw it and they were like, oh no, this part seems so weird, right? I just want to have a moment of silence for the fact that it needs to be on the table, that it would be extreme if this next part is the part they like got mad about or something, right? That's all. That's all. We should have like a moment of silence for that for a second, okay? And then I'm going to tell you what it is, okay? Okay, now that we got that out of the way, you're gonna love this. Just like, what would you do, right? That's all. Just what would you do, okay? Okay. Same girl from the YouTube video. Okay. Same twin flame guy from the YouTube video. You have to picture it like it's your twin flame doing that to you. And I'm tell you what, okay? And I even hate saying this part. I'm even like, ugh, this again? This is so terrible. This again? Really? This again? Really? This is what you're gonna make me have to... Okay, make me sounds dramatic, but like, no, this is what you're gonna make me have to complain about? Be so for real. This is what you're gonna make me have to complain about. You're gonna have some explaining to do either way. You better have a really good explanation by then. It's been years. I bet you have a really good explanation by then. Okay. Whatever. I feel like it's going too far if I even state what actually happened, because then I feel like I'm just a terrible person. If I state the facts of what actually happened, I feel like I'm a terrible person. Okay. So, my twin flame and this girl, right? So, they both have blue eyes, which normally wouldn't mean anything. But while he was talking to another guy, okay? In a conversation. Keep that in mind, okay? For the next part. But, so, yeah, normally blue eyes doesn't mean anything. But he's made sure you were listening before zooming in on a photo of her from her Instagram and talking about how perfect her eyes were and how perfect her eye color is and how perfect blue eyes are and how, you know, blue eyes are like a standard, like a beauty standard, and how that's like so important and stuff, right? Again, while talking to another guy, but like, I was like, okay, that's like a red flag to make sure I'm listening before you say that. Even if you're like subconsciously doing that, like, okay. It sounds amplified when it's a blue-eyed person saying that. It's like on steroids. It's like, okay, you've never heard of what now? Like, what is going on? Okay, you can't even make that up. Okay. But that almost wouldn't mean anything because at least it's your actual twin flame who's talking, right? Yeah, it's your actual twin flame who's talking. So it's just one of those weird like separation things. Guess what? A little not so well-known fact about the same exact girl though, which makes me wonder how much he knows to then be doing all this. Little known fact about the girl though. The exact one from the, oh, yeah. What? Okay. Again, it wouldn't mean a whole lot, except she has personally told you that you, again, we ran out of space in this whiteboard, okay? That you wanted to be her. Bold as fuck. Wanted to be her. And then she's gonna be where, and where? Again, this one was before all the rest of it, okay? Before anything. Okay, she's told you wanted to be her because of her eye color. And then, gotta get the order correct. Your twin flame's gonna leave you for her. Oh, but they both have blue eyes, okay? Whatever. Then he's gonna make sure he zooms in on a photo of her eye from her Instagram. He's gonna make sure you're listening, that you're sitting there next to him watching, because there could not be a better time for this. Okay. And then, oh, he does the whole like twin flame normal situation, right? Because okay, whatever, the other things are probably just like a passing phase. Yeah, that was awkward, that was weird, probably doesn't mean anything, whatever. Okay. Then you discover that actually is your real twin flame, everything, all of that, right? Then he's gonna do the YouTube video with her. Public YouTube video, by the way. Bold as fuck, but that's not my business. Doesn't really matter, honestly. Doesn't really matter. And I'm not trying to say my twin flame's like a bad person or something. Obviously, that would be like I'm saying I'm a bad person. So I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to say like either he knew the whole time, knowingly caused a higher degree of like trauma, or didn't know about that part, and that was like the missing puzzle piece for like the actual degree of trauma that he was causing me, therefore himself as well at the same time, because it's how it works. Which is why there's normally more boundaries in place with like twin flames, to where like they don't do like the extreme stuff, but like sometimes it still happens, which is why it makes me wonder if he even knew or if he just didn't know. But it just made it like feel so extreme, and I was like, oh, maybe it's the whole her directly like only speaking to me and saying you wish you were me because I have blue eyes and you don't. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm not gonna give you guys my interpretations for the whole thing, because, like, whatever. But there's just an astronomical degree of, like, other associations that are so insane. So insane. I'm like, where would I even start? Where would I even start with even saying out loud some of the crazy things that made me have to think and believe? Like, what? What? Because my twin flame's not white, just he has blue eyes. So I wasn't trying to, like, cause a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Well, I wasn't trying to cause a problem by, like, stating that fact. Okay. I wasn't supposed to be sitting here wondering if you somehow don't have, like, the mental capacity to understand, like, some of the reasons why that would have been disrespectful. Because then that would mean that I don't think I have the mental capacity either to understand why that's disrespectful in so many ways. What? Anyway, talk about being out of balance with your twin flame in some ways that you don't even know how you could say out loud, because you're like, what does this even mean? Am I saying something terrible that I don't even know about? Like, what's going on? Like, it actually would make you, like, spiral over some really crazy stuff. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know where this goes with the video that I'm literally recording right now. Hopefully to hell and back. I don't know. No expectations, because it went that low before. No expectations, because it's been that low before. The bar is not in hell, the bar is in, like, one of the worst layers of hell. Like, what? I think, you know, it would be really, really bold for this to be a coincidence. So what are the private conversations? Oh, when they're not about sex, they're about how people with blue eyes are just better than everybody else on the planet. Oh, ha ha ha. Or something else, right? But the point is, who do you think the target audience of the video is? It's not about, oh, the coincidence of them both having blue eyes. That's cool. But how often and by how many people, including herself, is this lady going to be used as an example of what I was somehow expected to be before I was born, but I just chose wrong. I just chose the wrong eye color before I was born. Oh my god, I must have not known. Oh, let me go back and choose a different one after I die, just to make you happy. I just chose the wrong one. Like, my bad. You're right, my bad. What? No. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it worked. You, like, gaslit me into not knowing. But, like, what? Yeah. Okay, whatever. I guess that happened. I don't know. What would you guys do? Is that still your twin flame? What would you guys do? Oh, a lot of other way worse stuff happened too. Especially including that girl. So, whatever. I don't know. You guys can interpret it however you want. But yeah, that was pretty extreme, so whatever. I don't mind getting it off my chest, but yeah. That was just, like, astronomically, like, a different level of why am I still expected to feel like I don't have a right to speak up about this? That's like the quiet elephant in the room, like the like really an expectation, right? That I'm just gonna sit there and go with it. That I'm just gonna sit there and go with it. That I'm just gonna sit there and go with it. Yes, because the second I said something about it, oh, now it was a different level of problem or something like that. I don't know. Because of course I'm gonna be really crashing out over that, because that's valid. That's so wild, dude. No, I still can't believe that happened. And like I said, some of it could have been a coincidence, but all of it happened. Some of it could have been a coincidence. Some of it could have been a coincidence. Everybody knew their role. Only some people maybe didn't know everybody's role in what happened. But altogether, the private conversations are probably about how many people just didn't choose the right eye color or something. Or at least the target audience of the video is supposed to believe that in the hopes of going viral. I know the way I sound so mean, but it's just like, what would you do if somebody did something very similar to you? What would you do if somebody did something very similar to you? I don't know. What would you do? What would you do if it all felt like planned out and like a multi-year like plan to make you feel that way? It's not like the whole planet's about me, but how many people were directly talking to me or trying to make sure I was paying attention for this part? How many people were directly talking to me trying to make sure I was paying attention for this part because it was the most important part that ever happened? Again, maybe it just looked really bad and it was a coincidence, but how many times does there have to be a coincidence for somebody to be the one who's trying to do it, though? I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I just wanted the life experience of making this video for some reason. I don't know. Actually, I don't. I wanted to not make this video. I put off making this video for years and years and years, but I was like, I just wanted to say, how do you guys interpret this part? Just, that's all. Is my real twin flame? Yes. But separation happens when there's issues, because nobody's supposed to be traumatized to the degree that that's already happening. So, don't know why the other girl even showed up. You know what? If I can be held to the expectation of having blue eyes, she can be held to the expectation of not getting in between. Because if I should have known better to have the right eye color before being born, she should not be that close to anybody's twin flame when they already know that that's their twin flame. She should be held accountable to the same degree. It doesn't have to be about the way you look. She should also be held accountable to the things that you should have known about before you were born. And that's the wrong person's twin flame is something I'm willing to hold her accountable to the degree of, because she was trying to hold me accountable for not having blue eyes. At Chili's, where we worked, all three of us, so soup, salad, or blue eyes, I don't know. One of the three, for sure. I don't know. But that feels extreme, right? Well, it doesn't matter. It's just a YouTube video. It's okay, theirs was just a YouTube video. So, yeah. No, but part of a twin flame, separation and imbalance sometimes is that you have to wonder if you're ruining your own destiny, your own fate, your own future, just to tell people what actually happened. That's crazy. It's hard too, because no one wants to like cause a problem with their twin flame if they have one, right? Like, they don't want to cause a problem that the person doesn't know about. That they're like putting online. No one wants wants to do that? But you're just like, what else was I supposed to do? I wasn't gonna talk about it if the issues were not, like, piled up really badly, like, crushing me, you know? Like, I really wasn't gonna talk about it. But that's extreme. That is extreme. That is extreme. To feel crushed by that issue, in a lot of ways, it is extreme because, again, like, the degree of feeling like, okay, it would be weird to talk about, but, like, it would be a lot weirder to be the one who's out of place for doing something like that. You know how many times I rewatched that video just to make sure it actually happened? I'm not just crazy. If that's what the energy is, you know how many times they probably rewatched the video because they couldn't believe that it actually happened because they were so lucky each other had blue eyes. I couldn't believe it actually happened because of how terrible this new level is in life, right? Like, the level up was not worth it. You know how many times they probably rewatched that video because they could not believe how lucky they were that they found another person who had blue eyes. They could not believe they found another person with blue eyes with this energy. That's crazy. It's really weird. Anyway, yeah, there's always, I think when you have a twin flame and they are the runner and they don't believe in it or something, or they can even say they don't believe in it for a minute or whatever, then there's like the perspective where they could be like, well, you're crazy because I never said I was your twin flame. You're crazy because I'm not your twin flame, while you zoomed into a photo of her blue eyes to make sure that I heard how much better of a person I would be if I had blue eyes too. What does that mean? Coming from a person who's not white at all but has blue eyes. Like, it's not even your race, but no, I mean, it makes it like I want to be inclusive to you. Not step on you, be respectful to you, and not call you out for your behavior. Because how am I supposed to even understand what your behavior is then at that point? Obviously, you're just being nice to yourself when you say that you like the eye color, but then when you turn it around and you try to make it about how I just should have been better, this is like a... It takes so long for me to even put the pieces together that I had a right to, like, find them weird for this. I just realized for the first time that it's not, like, literally, this video is 1 minute 48 seconds. It was like 5 seconds ago that I just realized for the first time that it actually is the two of them who technically, coincidence or not, intentional or not, whatever, like whatever you want to call it, it's actually the two of them who each separately made me feel that way. That's how long it takes for it to occur to me. This was like years ago. I was like, but isn't it just like a hypothetical that that it came across like I don't know, fascist or something? Like, isn't it like hypothetical? Like, aren't I just being speculative? Isn't this just like a hypothesis, right? No, it was actually like 7 seconds ago now that like I realized for the first time that, even after saying all that, I realized for the first time that they both said that to me, even though I said it out loud. But like, it takes so long to be like, wait, I'm not evil for the hypothesis that I want them a little bit held accountable for that. No, this is extreme. And it took me that long to realize that I had a like first-hand personal experience with it, which is why I don't think that energy is okay at all. Well, a lot of other reasons, but it takes so many years to even understand like what just happened or why it was extreme or why it felt extreme at all. Like it took so many years to just now realize that I'm not making it up. What? But yeah, that does not mean I hate my twin flame. It doesn't mean I'm permanently mad at my twin flame. But it does mean that we're way more imbalanced than people would assume by looking at me. They would be like, well, you're very spiritual. Like, I'm pretty sure whatever issues you have with your twin flame are like minimal compared to some of the issues other people have. Like, the more spiritual you are, the more in your purpose you are, the more it kind of dissolves blocks. But certain things they do early on in meeting you can still take years to like process. The hard part is that like I'm just not responsible for like accountability for that kind of thing. I'm not the person who knows like what it takes to get things back to normal if there ever was a normal. I don't know. If I were to try to hold my twin flame accountable for it, I would be holding myself accountable for it, but I'm the one who went through that. So we both went through it when he said that. Which is not like, then we both went through the trauma of that happening. Which is why it's harder. It doesn't mean I'm trying to like criminalize myself for having that happen, if that makes sense. But then if it makes it sound like I'm trying to hold another woman accountable to an unequal degree if I'm not holding the man accountable, right? Because our planet is so like that. It's like, well, why would you try to hold a woman accountable for what a man clearly should be accountable for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like if they each did something that sounded like that, why would you hold them unequally accountable? But then if I were to hold my twin flame accountable for it, then I would be harming myself. But then it's like, how do you even do accountability for something like that when I'm not walking around saying something like that? And maybe he did by accident, or some weird thing was, some psychosis was happening that day. No offense, but like some psychosis was happening that day. That's probably the only thing I can really think of that makes it like less bad. But it's difficult because I'm not trying to like poison myself over something that somebody else said. But then if I just hold a woman accountable for it, then why am I not holding a man accountable for it? And then I remember I'm just a witch and I can be as crazy as I want, but you can't hold a twin flame accountable for what is it, like an imbalance or like a block in the relationship, especially when they're the runner, because then they can't even be like I guess like they would be like, well, I could just say I'm not your twin flame and that never happened. And maybe it'll be worth it in that universe all the way over there. But yeah. So yeah, maybe I just did part 907 of ruining my own life by wanting to talk about it. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye. I don't even know. Anyway, part of why I feel like it's different, my twin flame is not white passing at all though. Neither am I. We both are not. I just have brown eyes and he has blue eyes, but like neither of us is white passing at all. The girl fully is white passing though with blue eyes, and so I think that adds more context to the story of why I feel like there's so many layers to me not knowing if I should even bring it up. But then it's like, or like to my twin flame, it's like I wish I could just be like, are you trying to like erase both you and I in favor of her for some reason that none of us are talking about, because clearly the elephant is here with us, like in the room, like what's going on. Because it does mean you're also trying to erase yourself, not just me, but that would also erase you if you made me feel that way too. But it's like, it feels like it's still like not the same thing, but it is the same thing, but it's not the same thing. But it's so not the same thing at all, right? And it's like, maybe there's an explanation. I just never got to hear the explanation, which is why it was so difficult to work through in general. I don't think the girl has an explanation, or really, it's so different. I mean, yeah, all he did was technically zoom in and talk about how perfect her eye color was, but he also has blue eyes, so I don't know what was going on there. That was like a weird moment, but again, she was the one who directly was only talking to me. There was nobody around. Only talking to me to then say, you wish you were me because you don't have blue eyes and I do. That was like, not just tone deaf, but like to an astronomical degree, like just trying to be offensive as much as possible. So that was like crazy. But then the two of them together, it brings up the story of how he also kind of did something a little bit similar. And that never would have really been on my mind, or I wouldn't have taken it that seriously. I would have probably taken it as a joke a little more, had it not been her who was in the YouTube video. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that the fact it was her in the YouTube video and him in the YouTube video together doing all this, it just was extreme. Because all of the little things that I never would have taken that way were now all forced to be taken that way. And then I had to wonder how much of my destiny or fate or possible reunion with my twin flame, which is supposed to be an amazing experience, how much of that is possibly like compromised by me even talking about this? I don't know. Exactly. And, well, you know the YouTube video I talked to you about. So, it must have been before, it must have been like a few days before, like just several days before he decided to do the YouTube video with that girl. He just, went on his phone, recorded a video to send me, where he said, I don't know why I want to say this, but I just really, really, really keep feeling like I want to say you are not the same person as Christina Aguilera. I don't know why I wanted to say it though. And so, yeah, I got that video and I was like, okay. I wasn't gonna sit there and try to force myself to think it means something specific, because people either try to say they think I am or I'm not all the time. So I was like, it's just another one of the constant interpretations I get of, oh, I'm the same or I'm not as Christina Aguilera. It's always the exact same artist. Everybody and their mother is like, you're exactly the same person, or you're not the same person at all as Christina Aguilera. So I was just like, okay, whatever, like, probably doesn't mean anything. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh yeah, and then he decided to just create that video. I guess with Christina Aguilera. It wasn't Christina Aguilera, but I guess that's what you mean by that. I guess you were trying to predict your own actions or something. I don't know. Or the fact that it wasn't going to age well. So, yeah. I think that part also makes me feel more encouraged to put this video out there, for better or worse, but I don't even know. But yeah, that added a layer to it, I guess, technically. I don't know, that part is more like interpretive for the audience, I guess, but it did really happen. So, I don't know. Oh, that, and then when I had any form of reaction to my actual twin flame making that video, don't worry. She was definitely, like, probably top #1 person he decided to ask if my reaction was normal too, to make sure that he's holding me accountable for my actions if I didn't think those were perfect actions of his. This girl was going to be the one who got to decide if he holds me accountable for being annoyed or bothered because we're just friends, even though I said we're not just friends. We're actually twin flames. He was kind of like, good luck with that. That doesn't make sense. I guess as blue-eyed people do or something, I don't know. It goes both ways. Because I'm not about to sit through that and not have something to say also. So, maybe blue-eyed people just don't believe in twin flames. Since we're trying to hold me accountable for my eye color and whether or not I'm being a good friend to somebody I'm actually not really just friends with. When she's also not really just his friend either, to some degree. Hope that helps. But yeah, so she got to be the one to help decide whether I needed to be held more accountable for that, for me having any form of reaction to that, or finding it weird. Somebody out there is gonna be like, that's crazy. I know somebody out there is gonna be like, that's crazy. But honestly, like I said, the bar is so low, the bar is in hell, actually, and hopefully my twin flame decides that if somebody is willing to hold me accountable for the natural eye color that I have, for having brown eyes, for not having blue eyes, right? In 2026, well, actually that happened probably in, I don't know, was it 2021? I don't know when that was. Like, middle of the COVID or something, the COVID pandemic, I don't know. Probably 2021 or something, okay? Whenever that was, probably 2021. So, hopefully in the future, the one who's trying to hold me accountable for not naturally having blue eyes is also not the one who's making decisions about whether I'm overreacting to that situation not aging well. What? Sometimes, again, not only is the bar in hell, but it should be anywhere else. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video about why I will never fully trust anybody. Not fully. Not fully. Yeah, there's always going to be a little bit that's permanently ruined, so maybe the rest will be kind of nice, but there's always going to be a little bit that's permanently ruined, so be warned if you're stupid and likely to make any of these mistakes out there. Almost nobody or everybody, I have no idea. But yeah, enjoy. Oh yeah, I didn't even say the real crazy part, if that part didn't get you yet. So that was the girl my twin flame had left me for. So then I decided, you know what, I'm feeling myself. I'm gonna post some like sexy photos to my Instagram. I guess to compete, not really to compete because it wasn't about the girl, but she had already made me feel that way. He had made me feel that way before, by this point, okay? And he had left me for her, okay, after all that. So, but then they didn't date. He actually convinced another guy to date her. Weird, but that was what happened, okay? Anyway, for whatever reason. Whatever, okay. So yeah, I take like sexy photos. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling myself, whatever. I'm gonna post these to Instagram. And it's not even about the guy, and it's not even about the girl. It's not even about my twin flame. You know, it's not even about anything. It's just about like reclaiming how I feel about myself. Anyway, my mom saw those photos and then forced me to start an OnlyFans. So I got to make a little bit of money, but also for some reason my mom decided trauma of feeling like you don't even own your own body is what would fix that whole situation. So while all of them were so out of pocket and so insane, the real one who got in the way of this whole dynamic and decided to try to poison it 1,000,000 times more was still my mom. What? Actually, but what? Oh, and the OnlyFans part and the mom part happened years before the YouTube video the two of them made. In the most fascist part of the world that's ever existed, apparently. Not ever, not all time. I'm bad joke. Not all time. Okay? But maybe that added to part of why I reacted in such an extreme way that then this girl got to decide, be a part of the decision making of whether or not I was overreacting, which again is a part of where they both chose such an extreme level of what to layer on top of my already suffering condition. Anyway, if he can't even make his own decisions about whether I'm overreacting and needs another woman to figure out if I'm overreacting, it makes me feel like my own private personal information is going to be screen recorded and end up on the internet or something. And I don't want to give any ideas out, but like, when you've already felt betrayed to this degree, you only imagine it getting worse. You only imagine it being more extreme. Yeah. No one knows how much she knows I exist, or if personal details were added into that conversation, right? Just to make sure I'm not overreacting, even though I'm a woman and I'm a witch, and I'm pretty sure by now I know what I'm doing. If I overreacted, it was probably intentional and it was probably your fault. If you needed someone else to figure out if I was overreacting, I was not overreacting. I should have overreacted a lot more if you needed help to figure it out. Especially considering oftentimes she would not even know you anymore if you showed her the same side of yourself that you showed me. She would not still know you if you showed her the same part of yourself that you showed me. And you would not care to know her, probably, if she fully showed you how racist she is. You guys wouldn't know each other if blue eyes were not going both ways or something. I don't know. Or you'd be willing to settle for being told all the time that, like, you're just ugly because you don't have it or something. Or you wish you were her. Also, my twin flame actually had a really difficult upbringing in life. Extremely difficult. The girl I was talking about had the easiest, I mean, I wasn't there, but like, I don't know, multi-million-dollar upbringing. Just pretty much chilling, you know? Not that she didn't have one or two things that were like a little bit negative or something, I don't know. But like, all I'm saying is, to have the most privileged upbringing ever, and then tell someone like me, you wish you were me because you don't have the right eye color, is so extreme. Which is why I'm a little bit more willing to forgive my twin flame, because I know that he didn't have like good influences in his life because of his life being so difficult. So for that reason, it is not the same thing, which is another layer of part of why I don't understand why the two of them would have a lot in common except for eye color, which is part of, not like, you know, but actually in a way, it's like she probably thinks she's using him for his eye color somehow. I don't know how that's possible, but he's not white or white passing. He's not going to have white babies or whatever. Like, there's no other way I can really think of that somebody could be using someone for their eye color. It came to my mind, but like, I don't really know. There's not another way someone could like use somebody for the eye color, but like, you know what I'm saying? clearly he would have just been told the same fucking thing that I was told had his eye color been different. Like, by the most privileged girl on the planet, though, who will straight up just say that to you if you don't have the right eye color. That was extreme. But yeah, that's part of why. But he's a man, so like maybe he should have thought of it, but at the same time, again, like, did not have opportunities, did not have any positive influences, had the hardest life ever. So that part exists too. For whoever needs to factor that into decisions, I don't know. About who was really wrong here, I have no idea. Okay? Also, just for fun, I'm gonna add in that it just occurred to me now that the girl I'm talking about, basically, if she and him had a kid, I know she might say she understands what race he is, but I don't buy that for a second. It would not be till after the kid's born that it fully, like, clocks, you know, that it fully, like, sinks in. She would look down at the kid and be like, how did this happen? Because, again, the kid would not be like, white? And she would be like, how did this happen? But then I was like, well, that's why the gods, I feel like, I don't know how to explain it. Why there's some people who would believe they got cursed if their kid comes out like a different race than they thought the kid they were having was. Like, if you get what I'm saying, like telepathically, I don't know, but okay, whatever. I'm just gonna let it be, but no, like, straight up, she would look down at the kid and be like, why is any part of the kid brown? Or a different, like, race than a fully white passing kid. Like, she might say she gets it. Up here's not gonna be the same, though. she would start having a panic attack after the kid's born. She might say she gets it, but she would not start having a, like, she would start having a panic attack, and it would be after the kid's born over that. Just about finding that out. So, come on, she can't even talk to somebody who has brown eyes and not say that she's better than them and that they have the wrong eye color. And that, how did they never realize? What? Again, I don't know what she thinks she's doing, but if she and him had a kid, the kid would not have what she thinks they both have. You know what I mean? Like, as if it's like a monetary asset, though. That's where the money's coming from over there. Okay, I should stop, but again, obviously, yes, I do respect my twin flame, because, again, he's still my twin flame, so it would be like, if I did all of that, but I didn't, but, like, you have to understand what I'm saying at the same time, because, again, it's more difficult to process the situation, though, because of all the context. Just for fun, just to kind of make light of the situation, basically, if they had a kid, after the kid's born, he could look down at the kid and be like, did you cheat on me? And she would not be able to defend herself, even if it didn't happen. Possibly. They would not DNA test the kid, probably. They would just be like, okay, that's just not yours.